What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Oh, man, I'm streaming. I didn't even know what was going on for a second there. I was like, oh my God, my intros are working. Everything's working. And then it zoomed into me and I was like, oh my God, I'm streaming. I'm streaming. It's been so long. It has been so freaking long. That's what I was. Aha. There we go. Haha. I had the echo because I had my laptop speakers go. There we go. Awesome. Fantastic. Woo! Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How's it going? I'm excited. I'm excited. Obviously it is Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday morning and we're doing tea with a hacker on Tuesday morning. I know that right there is enough for everybody to be like, what in the hell is going on today? I missed you guys. I missed everybody. Cheers. Here's some tea. Oh, Cybersec Mom already with the super chat. Thank you so very much. It's good to see you this morning, Cybersec Mom. We're drinking some masala chai this morning. I was on vacation last week. And we got in late Sunday night, like 8 o'clock Eastern Sunday night. And I really wanted to stream yesterday morning. And I just couldn't it was an 11-hour drive. We'd obviously spent 8 days in Florida on the beach. And I was just exhausted. And I really wanted to stream yesterday to say hi to everybody, tell you that I missed you. But I didn't get a chance to. And so my excitement to talk to you all could not wait till Friday. That is how excited I am to chat with everybody this morning because I couldn't wait till Friday to chat with everybody. So, good morning. Welcome to a special edition of Tuesday's Tea with a Hacker. I want to thank the people. I know we got a bunch of people who are still hanging out with Jerry over on First Things First. So, we'll kind of slow roll this intro a little bit this morning while we wait for those folks to get in. But I want to thank everybody for having their notifications turned on and paying attention to chat and tuning in with us this morning on this super special edition of Tea with a Hacker. Mugs up to you. Let's cover down on some rules really quick. This is our typical Tea with a Hacker. It is an AMA stream. Feel free to drop your questions in. I'm not going to change the fact that it's on a Tuesday. We're still going to answer a ton of questions. So drop your questions in at any time. We've already been queuing up questions already early this morning, so we'll go ahead and get those in any point in time you want. We are streaming to LinkedIn and YouTube. We'll try to grab questions over on LinkedIn as much as we can. We're also monitoring the Twitters as well. So if you are on LinkedIn, you don't want to hop over to YouTube, I miss a question, feel free to @ me on Twitter, and we can now grab your Twitter @ and we can post those up on stream as well. Couple rules, as we always do. We do have moderators in chat. I want to thank my moderators personally for their dedication each and every solitary stream. I can't begin to thank them enough. We had a realization as we were chatting in mod chat yesterday. We have been streaming cyber insecurity. We're in May now, so I'm a little early in this excitement. But we've been going at it now for about 2 years. In July, it'll be 2 years. So I'm a little excited. I'm a little bit. We're coming up on 2 years. And so we were chatting with our moderators. And so, our longest running moderators, folks like Jack, folks like Frazier, folks like BeardSec, a lot of BSec as well, BeardSec and BSec, have been around for a hot minute. They've been here doing what it is that that they do best, which is supporting the community, keeping chat honest, keeping chat free of toxicity. We don't tolerate any racist, misogynistic, elitist, otherwise toxic behavior in chat. And so I want to thank them. They've been super awesome, and I couldn't be prouder of our moderator team. And so cheers to you guys. I love you. You're the best. I couldn't do this without you. Good. We got the Simply Cyber team coming on in this morning. Timed that one right. High five to my boy Jerry. Hopefully everybody enjoyed First Things First, hanging out with Jerry this morning. Second thing, When it comes to questions, obviously we do want you to ask your questions as much as possible, but we do ask that you ask your question only once. I promise you, we do have moderators in chat that they're here to help me make sure I get all the questions answered as much as we absolutely can on this stream. But we do ask that you ask your question only once. We will do our ever-loving best to get to every single one of them. Whew, yeah, 2 years. Cybersec Mom, that's right. Cybersec Mom, she's been here for 2 years. She was one of the creators of the if you're one of the Narwhal, I think it's the Narwhal Calf memberships. I think you have access to the emoji. She's got the Narwhal Warrior Princess emoji, the Oodaloo Princess. She was the creator of that, so she did a fantastic job on that one. Good morning from Mexico. We've had a lot of things. All right, I covered all the rules. That's me, killing enough time while we wait for the Simply Cyber crew to come in. Couple things I want to chat about this morning, right? Obviously, I titled this one. If you're over on LinkedIn, if you're over on Twitter, we've titled this one about cyber burnout, recovery, things like that. There are some things about this that I want to chat about when we talk about cyber burnout. When we talk about recovery. Obviously, I just got back from a huge vacation, and so I want to kind of talk about what it means to take some time off of work and recover from that. And then I want to also talk about this month we're in May, right? So this is May 3rd. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And Mental Health Awareness Month is super important for all of us, right? We talk about mental health a lot. We talk about mental health in cyber a lot. We talk about it in our day-to-day work, right? And a year ago, and I want to give huge props to Dev Nolzen. He reminded me of this morning, and I appreciate it. A year ago in our Discord, we started a channel called You Are Not Alone. And that channel has been very instrumental for people who are combating or need support or otherwise, just dealing with, possibly dealing with mental health issues. And so if you are hearing my voice right now, if you think that you need somebody to talk to when it comes to mental health, we do.
I couldn't hear what you said.
That's because I wasn't talking to you, Siri. You can head on over to Discord, hit those exclamation point Discord in chat, head on over to Discord and check out the You Are Not Alone channel over there. And I promise you there are people here who want to help you and want to remind you that you are not alone in your journey for mental health. I promise you that. We have people here who want to help. With that also being said, not sure if anybody saw my Instagram story. I am now repping one of their branded hats. Is the bot not working? Bot not working? What in the Sam heck happened while I was on vacation with the bot not working? Damn it. What mods are sleeping when I'm out there? Check out these guys right here. Mission 22. While I was down in Florida this last week, I got introduced to these guys, these Mission 22 guys. This is a group of organization that is specifically out there helping veterans deal with suicide awareness, right? And for those who don't know, veterans and suicide, it's unfortunately kind of, one of those things that gets highlighted quite a lot. Whether we talk about PTSD issues, whether we talk about inability to reacclimate to society when coming out of spending 20, 25 years in the military, whatever the case is, suicide awareness in veterans and suicide, issues in veterans are, it's pretty kind of center to a lot of us military folks because we have seen a lot of our brothers, unfortunately, take their own life. As part of that. And so I got to talk to the folks down in the Florida chapter, really am getting into their mission, really like them a lot. And so bought some swag from Mission 22. I don't know why the bot's broken, but the bot is apparently broken. We'll have to check on the bot, but check out Mission 22. Obviously we'll find a way to bring them onto the channel and see if we can't get some broader awareness on Mission 22 and support their mission. But in the meantime, they are on Instagram. They are on Twitter. Go ahead and at them and let them know that you saw them here on the Cyber and Security channel and you do support their cause for veterans and suicide awareness. And I appreciate that. All right. Let's see if we got any couple quick questions. We got a question over on LinkedIn. One question: after bachelor's degree, doing certs or masters is the best option in opinion. Again, I'm very anti degree, so I'm going to go with certs. Username says, question: thoughts on world government planning on banning internet and opinions on Web 3.0. I have never heard that the world governments were planning on banning internet. That sounds like a pretty huge conspiracy theory to me. I don't think that that's entirely possible at this point in time. And opinions on Web 3.0, I think Web 3.0 is awesome. And I think if you are ignoring NFTs, blockchain, crypto, and Web 3.0, you are sticking your head in the sand into something that could be huge for everybody. Awesome. Is it worth doing CPENT, OSCP cost me more than OSCP cost me more than CPNT? Don't chase certs, chase knowledge, right? Which one do I think is better? Dude, they all suck at this point in time. I forgot this wasn't the... There's the Streamlabs bot. Thank you to whoever fixed it. It's not broken, it's asleep. Oh. Awesome. So here we go. So we've got a lot of people asking the question. How was my vacation? My vacation was awesome. We're not here to talk about my vacation. We're here to talk about burnout. But to talk about burnout, I have to talk about my vacation, right? And so that's definitely. Hey, there's Durst hanging out in LinkedIn. Hey, bud, it's good to see you. Long time no talk. I saw you got a promotion. Good to see you, buddy. I went on vacation. Now, I've been on vacation before, but not like this, right? Not like this. And I want to talk a little bit about vacation because vacations are weird, right? I'm sure some of you have been in situations, right? You want to take a vacation, your boss makes you feel guilty for it, right? Your boss makes you, makes you jump through hoops, or almost makes you feel guilty for taking vacation. Been there, done that, right? I've had more than my share of leaders, even more so recently, unfortunately, than I'd like to admit, who don't believe in vacations. As a matter of fact, I had a leader recently who, he himself refused to take a vacation because he felt like he couldn't leave the organization because nothing would get done. He already felt like nothing was getting done in the organization, and so him taking vacation meant that it would be twice as much going on, right? And so it put a lot of pressure on lots of people to not take vacations, or to even take vacations. And I kid you not, like I've taken vacations here in the last few years, where I still get text messages, and I still get Slack messages for minor things, right? Again, you gotta remember, I've spent time on the incident response side, right? I've been on vacation, and I've had the CISO call me and say, Neil, we're getting hit with ransomware. Okay, right? You need me. I got it. Tracking, right? This was, hey, Neil, do you think that you could make this change to this PowerPoint for me? That would be some of the stuff that I'd gotten in previous roles here in the last couple of years on vacation. And so, I say all that to say I was very, very grateful when I got to Query. And one of the things that attracted me to Query was the culture and the mentality when it came to how important it was to decompress, right? And Andrew and Daraj and everybody else. And again, this is a Series A startup, right? They are in the hustle. They're in the grind to make a name for themselves in the cybersecurity space. And yet they're still like, no, take some time off. We had a board meeting a couple weeks ago. I had had this vacation planned, obviously, for quite a while. No issues. Like, it was like I put in vacation, and it was like, yep, check, Neil's on vacation. Mind you, we have unlimited PTO, and there's really no need for an approval. But it was more just like, hey, we were, going to take vacation, and then it was twice as awesome because we get back from the board meeting, and I think it was 2 weeks ago was the first week we were back from the board meeting, and so we were doing all the post board meeting stuff, right? What do we talk about? What do we learn? What do you have to focus on for the next quarter? And then Andrew, right, comes through and says, you know what? I'm going to take 2 weeks off. Co-founder of the company is like, hey, I'm going to take 2 weeks off of vacation. I'm going to take 2 weeks off and go on vacation myself, right? He wasn't going anywhere. He was going to stay at home. It was more of a staycation than it was anything else. But he was like, I'm going to take vacation. That in and of itself, that just gave me confidence, right, that the company really does care about my mental health. And it gave me confidence going into my vacation that I did something that felt really, really good. And it was something that I had not done in a really, really, really long time. I ignored everything. I ignored Slack. I ignored my email. I ignored Discord. I didn't, those who I'm usually on every night doing something. Even on vacation, I usually check into Discord. I didn't even bring up Discord once to check in on you guys. I truly, truly disconnected from the Saturday we started driving at 8 o'clock in the morning until we got home Sunday night at 8 p.m. I truly shut everything down. And I can't even begin to tell you what it was to come back and go, holy shit, I just had a vacation. Keep in mind what I just said. I had taken vacations in the years past, but this was the first time I got back and said, wow, I just took a vacation. Right? And so I wanted to come on and I wanted to share with everybody, when you take your vacations, when you talk about recovering from burnout, right? It is important to truly disassociate yourself with those feelings that are making you feel burnout. I see Jess joking around in there. I need a vacation from job hunting burnout. Whatever the case is, whatever the burnout is, I just want to stress, just in case you're not aware, just in case so you need somebody to tell you this, is that it is so important that when you say that you're going to stop working to take a vacation, or you're going to stop job hunting to take a vacation, to stop that burnout, that you don't check your status on TryHackMe, that you don't just look at one more video, that you don't just, I didn't read a single piece of cybersecurity news for 8 days. Russia, Ukraine, they could have hacked everybody. The power grid could have gone down. I wouldn't have known. I didn't check. The only time you saw me on social media was to post up my enjoyment, my Zen moments with all of you all, to share that with you all. And I can't even begin to tell you how freeing that is. And so, yes, BK says it perfectly, right? Taking 24 hours even helps. You have to take the time. This industry, the people in this industry will chew you up, they will spit you out, and they won't even say thank you for doing it. Okay? And so please, I am begging you, every single one of you. I know that there are people who are listening to me right now that are crushing their goals. I got some awesome ones sitting in queue. I've shared two of them that showed up, kind of pre-stream. There are people who are absolutely doing awesome things, right? But I need you to remember to take care of yourself, please, for me. Right, rip the power grid. Yeah, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known. So what did I do on vacation? Right? How was the vacations? If you want to see some cool pictures, right, head on over to my Instagram. I think I posted maybe one or two up on Twitter, but I think most of them ended up on Instagram.
Named Instagram.
Oh my God, stop it. Siri, you and I are gonna have a conversation. If I put you on Do Not Disturb, will that make you happy? Do Not Disturb. Yeah, that's right. I'm working. I'm working for an hour. That's right. Don't talk to me anymore. Um, so I don't flex my cars or anything like that on social media. It's just not my style. But I have a Jeep, and that's why I said, like, when we talk about Jeep, it's not like a mall crawler Jeep. Like, this thing's been beat up pretty hardcore, right? And every year there's this massive event. When I say massive event, we're talking like 10,000 people, right? 10,000 Jeepers who all get together in Daytona Beach, Florida. And it is nothing but a huge, giant Jeeper party fest. Vendors, off-road events, obstacle courses, and then obviously it's Daytona Beach, which is one of the very few places in North America where you could drive your vehicle onto the beach. And so, Carmen and I had been there before, 5 years ago, pre-pandemic. Which felt like an eternity ago, and we were like, we're going this year. Like, it's been too long. We have to go back this year. And it's about the Jeep life, and it's about hanging out with fellow Jeepers. But for us, it truly is about taking the Jeep, rolling that Jeep up onto the beach, right? And that's why that was it. You go check out some of the pictures that I posted on Instagram, right? You take the Jeep, you put it up on the beach, you're 15, 20 feet from the water, you take a tent, you plop it out onto the sand, you take a couple chairs, you put them out there, and when we talk about like what contributed to my zen on my vacation, right, was literally sitting on the beach with my feet in the sand, 15, 20 feet from the water, and doing nothing but listening to ocean waves, right? Listening to ocean waves for hours and hours and hours on end. The Jeeping stuff was cool. I posted some pictures from, they had a show and shine, they had a sound competition, they had just 10,000 amazing Jeeps that were there. Obviously, I got lots of great ideas for how I want to spend an exorbitant amount of money that I really don't need to. It's finding that Zen place, right? It's finding that Zen place that you literally really can just sit there and disconnect from everything that's going on in the world, in the crazy world that we live in, right? And so the bottom line to how was the vacations, it was freaking amazing. It was freaking amazing, and I couldn't be happier for the opportunity to have gone on vacation, to have gone to something that I love like Jeep Beach. If I see a lot of people, like I see a 93 Cherokee Life from Solemn, Jeep Family, Mr. Diesel Doug. Listen, if there's a bunch of Jeepers hanging out in, they're going, Brian Barnes hanging there. I've been a few times with the 94 YJ. Yeah, you can't really understand the Jeep life until you're part of it. Absolutely 100%. If there's a Jeep conglomerate, in the cybersecurity community, we'll add a Discord channel for Jeep Life. Happy to put together a cyber insecurity Jeep Beach event next year. Next year will be their 20th anniversary of Jeep Beach. We may do a Geek Jeep Week. We'll turn it. Yeah, we will hashtag that, and everybody who's got a Jeep from the cyber insecurity community will hook up at Jeep Beach next year and do Jeep things. Next year. But it's awesome. It's I think the bottom line is that I know we all talk about, we see the articles about cyber burnout. We talk about how real it is. Do something about it, right? Today. Do something about it. Make a plan for a vacation. Make a plan for 24 hours off. Make a plan for disconnecting, disconnecting from everything that's causing you to burn out. Make a plan and execute on it. I want you to do that today. That is an order. I want you to do that today, right? Also, hit that exclamation point Discord. Hop over into Discord. We have two very important mental health challenges, or excuse me, channels. Two important mental health channels in Discord, right? One is You Are Not Alone, right? We started this last year during Mental Health Awareness Month last year, continuing the trend this year. If you are struggling with mental health, that's not imposter syndrome, that's mental health. If you're struggling with mental health, use that channel. Don't use it as a replacement for professional help. If you're depressive, if you're feeling suicidal, make sure you are calling the suicide awareness hotline. You seek professional help, things like that. But if you want community support, you want to share your story, how you overcame, your mental health challenges. If you're looking for support on how to overcome mental health challenges, use the You Are Not Alone in Discord. We have a almost 5,000 member community that's here willing to help you. The second channel that we have inside of Discord is an imposter syndrome channel, right? And I do think that imposter syndrome is a leading indicator of some of the mental health issues that we do have in cybersecurity. And so definitely use the imposter syndrome channel to talk about how you overcame imposter syndrome in cybersecurity. Share your imposter syndrome stories with everybody. And everybody, let's make Mental Health Awareness Month awesome. And thank you, Devnell Zen, for the reminder. All right, let's get to some questions. Love the beach. Love the beach is such a. Our Zen place will always be the beach. We are such. Carmen and I are such beach bums. Such beach bums. Yeah. Peace beyond measure with the grains of salt, sand, and crystals, still sparkling on the beach at the edge of the sea. Glad you got refreshed and gained a few pounds with no burning ePT. I did gain a few pounds. I did gain a couple of pounds. I forewent the diet. I still try to work out every day. I worked out so that I could eat and drink more. I probably ate and drank more in the last week than I have in the last 6 months. So I'm back on the healthy hacker kick. Yesterday I did a 5-mile ruck march. Back on my 5-mile ruck march, and this morning I did my 3.5-mile run. Gonna go back and start posting up Healthy Hacker pictures. Make sure if you are participating in Healthy Hacker, you use the Healthy Hacker hashtag either on Instagram or Twitter and share those journeys with us. For those who don't know, who are listening to us on LinkedIn or Twitter, Healthy Hacker is something that we've done as a community to try to encourage physical health, because physical health helps with mental health as well. When it comes to those mental health issues. And so if you are on a Healthy Hacker journey, for those who have followed, over the last year, I think that I've been on this journey, I've lost 40-ish or so pounds. I kind of put it off to the side for the last week. And, part of that Zen moment was not going overboard. I didn't consume like 4,000 calories a day, which is not uncommon for me prior to starting Healthy Hacker. But I just didn't pay as much attention as I normally do when I'm on the journey. And then obviously I drank a good amount of alcohol because why not? And so it was a good time. It's a good time. I enjoyed letting the hair down, proverbially speaking. And thanks for the joke on the no burning or peachy tan. I have a hate relationship with sun. Like, sun sees me, and it's like I get all of the UV rays, and it's like, I'm going to turn you into a red hacker. I'm going to turn you into the reddest lobster hacker that I can find. And so, yeah, Carmen, we make the decision to go out into the sun, and Carmen's like, we're not going anywhere until I literally lather you up with suntan lotion, and we're literally there for 30 minutes while she is like all over for suntan lotion. And then I'm out there in the shade, and every 30 minutes I'm getting sprayed with suntan lotion, and I'm not allowed to go out into the sun because if I gotta wear a hat because this dome is like a massive sun absorption panel, out into the sun. So yeah, getting those nice beachy tans, not for this guy. Not for this guy. I wish. Potentially, Cyber Lola, I might still be on when you get back. Yeah. So yeah, make sure you tag us on Instagram, tag us on Twitter with your healthy hacker journeys. I want to give a huge shout out to the folks from the cyber insecurity team representing cyber insecurity at NomCon. Congratulations, BK, Bayou Beast, Callie. Like I won't even know all the people who participated in this. You guys crushed. You guys did awesome. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Bayou Beast, I want to give a huge shout out to Bayou Beast for organizing a lot of the CTFs and for getting the teams together. Glad to see you stepping up in the community. There are lots of people who want to represent cyber insecurity at upcoming CTFs. If you are interested in representing cyber insecurity at upcoming CTFs, please get up with Josh Mason, myself, Bayou Beast, any of the mods. And we'll do it. I think Bayou Beast has put together a team for the Hack the Box one as well. And so, congratulations to everybody from the cybersecurity team who participated, and I could not be prouder of you. Eugene coming through with, I'm new to cybersecurity tech-wise, but really considering a switch to it from usual software project to people management, looking for certs and planning a new career path. Welcome over from the side of software. We need more software-minded people in cybersecurity, especially with the predominance of API security being huge, as well as software security. So welcome. In terms of certs, I always recommend that you get a blue team cert and a red team cert. Like, I think everybody, right? I think everybody should be looking at a blue team cert and a red team cert, especially in this day and age, right? I don't think that we're not too, we're not too different in that regard anymore. If you're on the blue team, you must know red team techniques. If you are on the red team, you need to know blue team techniques, right? And so, even if you're in software development, whether it's on the AppSec side from the protection side or AppSec side on the API pen testing side, I think it is still critically important that you know both aspects of the red side and the blue side. And so, always encourage folks who are interested in coming over, research a red team cert, research a blue team cert. Now, obviously, I have my opinions, right? I always give my opinions, but my opinions are just that. They are just opinions, and so please take them for what it is. There are 401 million opinions out there. They are all right, and they are all wrong. Bottom line is, make your own judgments, but I'm going to give you my opinion from my 20-plus years of experience in this field, having taken multiple certs. Do not chase certs. Chase knowledge. Period. Dot. Right? So that's rule number one. That's rule number one. When you're thinking about it, when you're thinking about which cert to take, chase knowledge. Don't chase certs. The second one, do the free stuff first. There's a YouTube short out there on the YouTube channel. I want you to grab it. I want you to save it. And whenever you're like, should I pay for X? I want you to play that YouTube short. Do the free stuff first. If you've done all the free stuff, and then you're asking the question, which cert should I pay for? I think, hands down, the cheapest, most affordable, quickest to value red team cert out there is the eJPT by INE. Now, again, listen to this. I no longer work for INE. And I'm still over here. I was hawking eJPT before INE. I was doing it while I was at INE. I'm post INE, and I'm still hawking eJPT, right? They're not a sponsor of the stream. I don't get any kickbacks. I don't have an affiliate link for you. It is, hands down, the best cert to start your red team knowledge career path with. I personally know the content director over there, and personally know the people who wrote the version 2 of eJPT. It is awesome. Okay? It is awesome. On the blue team side is a little harder. INE does have a blue team cert. There is a new one coming out. I don't necessarily have the same love for the blue team cert that is there now as I do the red team cert. It is okay. Blue team certs, unfortunately, are harder to come by in our industry, which is why I say instead go do the blue team hands-on stuff with Blue Team Labs Online, Security Blue Team, cyberdefenders.org, things like that. So that would be the answer that I would have for you on that one. Range Force, yeah, Range Force is still awesome. I do still love my friends over there at Range Force. And I do think they do some cool stuff over there as well. Gonna head over to LinkedIn and see what we've got. What we got going on LinkedIn. Brian Barnes on LinkedIn says, by the way, Neil, I took some of your advice, some advice you gave me last year, and it paid off. Woo! Awesome. Not only did I land a pretty awesome position, I have at least a couple businesses reaching out weekly about various jobs. You are the man. Brian, thank you so very much for that. I continue to get people reaching out to me on LinkedIn. If anybody remembers Nick, he's been a longtime member of the community as well. He reached out to me, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, and he was like, Neil, he's got an interview with a director, an information security director that he got because in one of my videos and one of the things I talk about going to read the 10K of public companies so you understand the business needs so that you can talk to the leaders about their business needs in interviews. He's in the final interview process of landing a job that got him to the next level of interview stage because he read the 10K. I promise you, I just don't say this stuff because it sounds cool on a YouTube video, right? This is from years and years and years of experience in terms of getting jobs and helping people get jobs. Please check out the LinkedIn career advice video series that we have over on LinkedIn. It will change the course of your career. But on the flip side of that, and specifically, I know we've got Matt and we've got Jess who have been hustling. They've been hustling hard, right, looking for jobs, and they've been implementing the techniques, and they've gotten to some finish lines, and then they fell over, and then they've gotten to some finish lines, and they fell over. But that's to no fault of their own. That's to no fault of their own. And again, this gets back to what I've said before. It is pure luck. Pure luck when you get a job versus when you don't get a job. What you are doing by implementing these techniques is hedging the bets in your direction, right? You're hedging the bets in your direction. So please take those advices to heart. Good luck to everybody out there. I know you will kick ass. Matt says, we have one team spot still available for Hack the Box competition. DM me on LinkedIn or BayouBeast8 on Discord if interested. You hear that? One spot on the Cyber and Security Hack the Box team. If you're interested in repping with BayouBeast, go check him out. Matt did follow up with a question. What is an existing skill gap that you see in the industry at the moment? Fantastic question. There are two. There are two, Matt, that I see. API security is getting huge, more huge than possible, right? Definitely API security. The second one, and this is, I want to explain to you, I'm going to say the second one, but I want to explain to you why I'm saying the second one, right? The second one is blockchain technology. Neil, I can remember a year ago, 2 years ago, I sat at the board of directors at I&E when somebody said, hey, should we look at blockchain 3 years ago? And I said, no. 3 years ago, the industry wasn't ready. 3 years ago, the blockchain industry wasn't ready. 3 years ago, the crypto industry wasn't ready. 3 years ago, cybersecurity wasn't ready. Nobody was ready for it 3 years ago. Nobody was ready for it 2 years ago. Nobody was ready for it a year ago. They're ready for it now. They're ready for it now. If you are looking to be the next researcher, if you think about some of these researchers who pioneered their way, if you think about like Rob Lee from Dragos, right? in terms of pioneer industrial control system security. If you look at some of these folks who pioneered medical device security when I was at some of the life sciences and medical device companies that I've worked at in the past, right? Those folks identified the trends at the right time and pioneered the research topics that they needed to be the experts in red team and blue team security in those respective areas. If you're looking for that now, that cutting edge is blockchain. But I'm gonna hurt some of y'all's feelings really quick. Neil, that's fantastic. I want to be the best blockchain hacker in the world. How do I do it? What cert do I take? That's the point. You're not going to find a cert. Part of leading edge means there's no knowledge out there. Meaning you're not going to go read somebody else's report. You're not going to go download a VM and be able to do blockchain hacking. You're not going to be able to follow in somebody else's footsteps. This is true, tried and true, old-fashioned. You've got to go out there. You've got to research the protocols. You've got to do your own research. You've got to try your own test. You've got to do it the old school way of doing it, right? And so if you're looking for truly, you want to be on the cutting edge of something where you actually want to lean forward and do your own research, get in the blockchain space. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. And again, like I said, don't ask me like, hey, Neil, I want to get into blockchain. What cert do I take? There isn't one. That's the point. That's the point. There isn't one out there. Love Cyber Lola's. I love this about her. How are you? I'm awesome. Thank you for asking. Is your streams always going to be on Tuesday? No. This is typically a Friday stream. I was just really excited to see everybody, which is why I streamed today. I'll tell you, I want to stream more. I want to stream more. Streaming is hard, right? For those who don't know, right, we've got streamers almost every day of the week, right? Whether it's Jack, Sec IT guy, whether it's BSec, right, doing his DJ streams, whether it's Brandon with his Wednesday streams. Brent just ended his Python streams. He was streaming every Tuesday for the last 13 weeks. Check that out if you're interested in Python. We have an entire Python series over on YouTube for you to check out if you're interested in that. Myself or any of the other streamers, almost 5 days a week. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to stream, right? And it's all like, this is why I love the tea with the hackers, because I get to come on here and I just get to BS with you guys, right? I get to BS all day long. We have a lot of folks who want to come on the stream. We have a lot of folks who want to share their knowledge. Oh yeah, we got Josh too. I forget about hashtag worst mod. He's in worst mod purgatory right now. He knows what he did. Anyway, worst mod purgatory. So we're constantly evaluating the stream schedule. We're constantly evaluating who we bring into the stream. We're constantly evaluating the people that we partner with to try to bring you the best amount of content as possible. I will not always be streaming on Tuesday. Typically, Tea with a Hacker is done on Friday mornings. I do those so that we can try to get as wide a reach as possible. Across the globe, for people to have access to me and to this content. I want to stream more. If you want more access to me, and let's talk about that for a second, right? Because like everybody loves Neil. Anyway, I'm always in Discord. Right? You can, if you're listening to my voice, like the streams are awesome. Everybody's stream is awesome. You get access to, Jack has got 15 years of experience in this space. Josh has got 15 minutes in this space, but he's an incredible professional. I do this just because it's awesome. Right? We've got Brandon, right, who's got 10 years in this space, right? We've got Brent, who's got 10 years, 20 years teaching in this space, right? We've got so many experienced people on the cybersecurity channel. Those same people are in Discord. And there's more. There are 5,000 people in Discord, right? Almost 1,000 people on at any given time, anxious to help you, from experienced folks all the way down to non-experienced folks. And that we have a voice chat in there. If Maz were here, Maz would say, don't sleep on member chat, right? Member chat is like, we're in there, and it's like, people who've been in member chat, you've been in there, and it's like, hey, how do we tackle this experience? How do we overcome this challenge? How do we do this? How do we do that? And we have entire mentorship sessions in voice chat on Discord, just randomly on a weekly basis, right? And so, the streams are awesome, and I encourage everybody to participate in the streams. Don't sleep on Discord, and don't sleep on member chat. You're missing out on opportunities to talk to the decades. God, guys, do you think between the moderator team, at least, we've probably got almost a century of experience in the cybersecurity and IT space to help you out? Like, that's just don't overlook all the other things that we we put in place to try to give you guys as much. We probably got about 100 years between the moderator team, at least, in cybersecurity. Yeah. There's Doc Jade in chat. Dude, I'm serious. A lot of you, listen, Doc Jade wrote a university Python course, right? And then he brought it to cyber insecurity and spent the last 13 weeks teaching you university level Python. Hold on. What was rule number 2? Free. People who are like, Neil, I need to learn Python. Where do I go learn Python? You should start with the free playlist on cyber insecurity and learn from Doc Jade, who is a university professor, teach you Python. And he's got a channel, help you with the labs. He's got hands-on labs for you to do. Rule number 2, don't talk about Python Club. So, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Tuesdays, like, turn those notifications on. And when cyber insecurity goes live, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's me, Brandon, Jack, Josh, Brent, right? Turn those notifications on, tune in. So much free knowledge here. Any day of the week. Oh, God. Fasochi, what did you do? What did you do? I have not been made aware of a Fasochi actual email to the query support team. I'm scared now. I'm scared. Wait, what says, where should I start from? I always wanted to become a hacker, but now I have the chance to learn. I don't know nothing about besides names and superficial. Well, that's enough to know that everybody wants to be a hacker, and there's more to cybersecurity than being a hacker. When we talk about cybersecurity, right, it's more than just hacking. Everybody wants to be a hacker. Everybody wants to be a hacker, right? With that being said, go to INE, take the free PTS, pen testing student. That is easily the easiest and cheapest and quickest route to getting free red teaming training. Vacation was awesome. Thank you, Rami. Glad to see you as always. Ezekiel says, what do you think is better for a blue teamer? Work in a SOC for an MSSP or work at the InfoSec department of a company? If you just gave me those two choices, I'm going to say a SOC at an MSSP. But only a SOC at an MSSP if you're going to work for an MSSP that has like a lot of clients, right? There's some MSSPs, like if you look at some of the bigger, Accenture type of organizations, they put you on a SOC team and you're only focused on one client. It's okay. You'll still get a lot of good stuff that you'll be able to do and to take a look at and things like that. But I think you want to work for like a SecureWorks, right? You want to work for like a Cognizant. You want to work for like a like a WePro, something like that, where you get to see 50 or 100 clients. This is why I'm huge on consulting, right? You want to be able to see, like, one of the things that I love about cybersecurity consulting, right, is that when you go into the consulting world, you're like, you could literally go to 2 Fortune 100 companies in one day, in 1 week, and see 2 different cybersecurity strategies, 2 different cybersecurity architectures, 2 different cybersecurity tool stacks, 2 different ways of solving the cybersecurity challenges for 2 different companies, right? And so that's why I'm a massive, massive fan of either MSSPs or consulting companies when it comes to those types of places to work. So if you're asking me just those 2, I definitely think SOC at an MSSP is the way to go. Doc is the man. Doc is indeed the man. Let's see here. Devnal Zen says, "How's the new job going?" It's awesome. It's awesome. For those who are not aware, probably 2 months ago now. I think it's been 2 months now. Whew, man, time flies. 2 months, I started a new job at CISO as a CISO at Query.ai. And Query.ai is a Series A startup company that's looking to break the model for centralizing all your log and event data by making it incredibly decentralized. It's very awesome tech. Query, for those, full transparency, Query's been a sponsor of the stream for the last 18 months. I first got introduced to Andrew 2 years ago as well, and his co-founder 2 years ago. And, it's one of those things where I said 2 years ago when they showed me the tech, I was like, God, I wish I'd seen this when I was building both of the SOC teams that I was building for 2 Fortune 100 companies. I was like, I would have easily considered this as an alternative to spending $10 million on Splunk, right, in 2 of those organizations, right? And so definitely was technology that I was super proud of, super interested in. So when I started to hunt for jobs, obviously Andrew was like, "Hey, you want to come over here because I need a CISO." And then he hits me with the, by the way, I also need somebody to be a SOC analyst, be an incident responder, be a penetration tester, be a threat intelligence person. I also need somebody to handle my compliance and my data privacy. I also need you to handle all my IT stuff as well. So I'm now BSEC. I'm a prettier version of BSEC. In the sense that I literally do everything, right? Which is exciting and hard at the same time. Right? It's exciting and hard at the same time. I literally have to split my days between helping marketing. I mean, let's call a spade, right? We'll call a spade what it is. We've got 50,000 people that follow us on LinkedIn, 20,000 people that follow us on Twitter. We still get followers on Twitch, y'all. We still get followers on Twitch, right? We've got 25,000 people who follow us on Twitch. We got 26,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? We're huge. We're all over the place, right? And so obviously, and their PR team crushes. I've gotten 2 dark reading posts, tons of PR pieces. We're in the conversations with a big magazine. I don't want to jinx it, but we're in conversations with a pretty big magazine to do for me to write an article titled "What It's Like to Be a CISO at a Startup" type of thing. When I say big magazine, I'm talking like traditional print. Think Forbes, think entrepreneur, think in that genre. That's what it's like. And so their PR team is crushing. I couldn't be happier. So I'm doing that. Their product team is awesome. They've got some brilliant software engineers, crazy software engineers. And so I'm helping them by bringing my practitioner voice, right? Because like one of the things I've always preached and I'll always adhere to, right, is I'm great at being a CISO, but I'm also a practitioner, right? I'd love to I'd love to jump into the fact that I can be a SOC analyst and an incident responder. I think I could talk about this. This really wasn't that sensitive. One of our developers sent me a message. He's like, "Hey Neil, we're getting some weird stuff happening on the login page for the interface. Can you take a look at it?" Now, in a normal organization, you tell that to the CISO. The CISO would then turn around to a SOC analyst and be like, "Hey, SOC analyst, can you go take a look at the login page and see if you see something unusual?" Me, I'm like, "Cool, I got you." Boom, pull up AWS, start pulling up web server logs, start pulling up all the WAF logs, right? I'm start looking through all the debugging stuff and everything else, right? That's going on, right? Come back 15 minutes later, I'm like, no big deal, just somebody poking around, right? Put in some blocks, call it good, have a nice day. 15 minutes done just like that. The fact that I can be the executive and sit in the boardroom and talk about cybersecurity with the board and do the practitioner stuff is exactly the experience that they wanted to bring me into the product team to help with, so that they get that practitioner mindset, so that we can build a product that actually helps you do your day-to-day job, which I think was awesome. And then, by the way, I still have to do the CISO responsibilities, which is build a security program. We're trying to get SOC 2 compliance, which is a pain in the ass if anybody's ever had to do it. Where's Cyber Lola? She's been there. She's done that. She knows how much of a pain in the ass that is, right? And so there's a lot there. There's a lot going on, right? And so, like, when you say, like, how is the job going? It's intense. It's intense. It's crazy fun. It's crazy fun, but it is super, super intense. I love it. I love it. How to deal with high social anxiety. Would you all believe it that I'm like socially awkward? Yeah, this guy. Socially awkward. If you can believe that. Let's talk about how socially awkward I am, right? We've got 101 viewers over on YouTube. We've got 50 viewers over on LinkedIn. I don't know how many we got over on Twitter, and I don't know if we're co-broadcasting anywhere else or not. I can't see all that. Needless to say, we've got a couple hundred people that are watching us right now. I can talk to you guys all day long. Easily. All day long. Right? Carmen and I are at Jeep Beach last week. This is embarrassing and funny at the same time. So there was one of the parties that we went to. It was a concert / party, and it started at 7 p.m. Doors opened at 7 p.m. and there was a stage and an open bar and everything else. And so we get there at 7:10, right? Because you never show up early for a party; you show up late, right? Cybersec Mom with the super chat. Thank you so very much. I love seeing you around. You're awesome. Stay awesome out there in Dubai. I appreciate you. We get there at 7:10, and we're in our head. We're like, okay, we're gonna go in, we're gonna get a drink, we're gonna find a table, and then we're gonna look for people to talk to. We have a plan. We're gonna look for people to talk to. We get there, go get a drink. Sit down at a high top table, looking over the ocean. We're talking to each other. We're looking around. Do we see anybody we want to talk to? Do you want to talk to anybody? I don't want to talk to anybody. You go talk to somebody. Do you want to invite anybody over to the table so we can talk to them? They're all Jeepers. The one thing we're all there for, we know we have in common, is Jeeping. Well, how about them? No. They look really weird. How about them? No. They don't look that cool. Hey, they look pretty cool. Let's invite them over to talk to us. No. I can't do this. We leave 30 minutes after we get there, before the band even starts, because we can't talk to people in public. So I can 100% empathize with the social anxiety. Right? It may not seem like it. I can sit here and talk to you all, right? But you put me in oh my God. People. Right? That's how I am. And it's like, holy cow, there are people that I have to interact with. And so I feel you. I do feel you on the high social anxiety. Absolutely. Um, so how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? It's easier said than done, but you have to try, right? You have to take that first step, and you have to do it in a way that's comfortable, right? We did overcome a couple of our pieces of social anxiety. We met, we met another couple that, yeah, different story for a different time how we met them. And we did, but it really just kind of starts with like that first breaking out of your comfort zone and being like, hey, can we be friends? Right? Yeah, there you go. Shane said it best, right? Forced extrovert, right? You have to, it's almost like social engineering, right? It's amazing, right? Because I can turn on a social, like if I'm doing an engagement and if I know that I'm going to social engineer somebody, forced extroversion, right? If that's even a word, right? Like if I'm going to social engineer my way into a building, I have no introvert tendencies whatsoever. And so I have to mentally put myself into forced extrovert mode. Am I talking to somebody on the stream? Am I going to introduce myself to somebody in the community for the first time? Am I going to meet somebody in DEF CON who's seen me on stream and I'm going to have a conversation with them, right? I have to change my mentality when I'm out in public to say this is nothing different than talking to you all on stream. This is nothing different than social engineering my way into a building. This is nothing different than meeting you all at Black Hat or DEF CON. And I just have to change that mentality, to fix that. And so, it is true and it is hard, right? But it can be done. Yeah, introverts pog, absolutely, absolutely. It is hard, but you just gotta you gotta work on that forced extrovert side as much as possible. Embrace it. Embrace the feeling that you get from being outside of your comfort zone. It'll get easier. It'll get easier, right? Glad to see Brian hanging out in chat. Good to see you all the way over in New Zealand. How you doing, buddy? 100% this, right? You have to learn to turn on presentation mode in your brain. Absolutely. 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 It can be done. It can be done. Heading on over to LinkedIn. Let's see what we got over on LinkedIn. Neil says, or Rand K says, Neil, Neil, thank you for what you do. You're a big supporter of beginners. Would you hire an entry level, literally an entry level, for a security position? If so, what do you look for in a beginner in order to hire one? Thank you again. Thanks for the question, Rand. I absolutely would and absolutely have hired 100% entry level folks, right? Absolutely have and absolutely would hire 100% entry level folks. People with literally zero experience. What do I look for? Listen, and again, don't just listen to me. Talk to any of the interns, right? When I interviewed them, right? Go back and look at the interview videos that I did with the interns, right? I asked them people skills. I asked them who they were as people, where their mentalities were on things. Talk to Jack, talk to Brian, talk to Josh, right? Talk to the folks that I interviewed to hire them at INE, right? Any of those folks will tell you, right, for me, I want to know if I ask you to do something, are you going to get it done? And if you can't get it done, are we going to be able to have a conversation as to what it's going to take for it to get done? Right? What I think, this is my opinion. This is my opinion of hiring managers, right? It was funny, it was a similar conversation in chat, right? Oh my God, you have a Sec Plus. Cool, you have a Sec Plus, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the work done, right? There's this conversation that happens in a workplace, right? Do you have the knowledge to get the work done, and can you get the work done? Think about that. Think about that dichotomy for a second, right? You have the knowledge to get the work done, or can you get the work done? I know how to change the oil in my Jeep. I know how to change the oil in the BMW. I know how to change the oil in the Raptor. I know how to change those oils. I don't do it. I'm lazy. I'd much rather take that thing to a shop and have somebody else do it, right? I know how to do the work on it, but I don't do it, even though I could, right? So if shops didn't exist and the Jeep broke down, I would literally wait until the Jeep was undrivable before I did the work on the Jeep myself. Now put that in the context of a working environment, right? Just because you have the knowledge on how to do red teaming or how to do blue teaming or how to do GRC or how to do security doesn't mean you know how to put it into action or that you can, in fact, put it into action. And so my typical interview strategy when I interview people is I want to know what your work ethic is like, what your research ethic is like. How do you approach problems? How do you handle challenges? Are you able to overcome those knowledge gaps that you have? Right? I'm more interested in that than I am the actual knowledge that you have. Now, your knowledge is important. I am curious if you have knowledge, right? But that is secondary to are you able to actually execute on a task when given said task, right? This isn't it. Kevin makes a fair point here, right? But you know how / who does know that can do the work. I feel that is important as well. I used to believe in certs, right? I can remember a time where I had the cert suit behind my name on LinkedIn, right? I thought that was important for my career, was to have the cert suit at the end of my name of my career. And then I realized that doesn't actually mean that I know how to get the job done. That actually had no indicator. Like, listen, when you talk to people with certs, right? Do you know that the reason that everybody is upset about things like CEH and OSCP is because they get the cert to get past the gatekeeper and then they don't use the knowledge in the real job? Think about that for a second. That's not just Neil saying that. You can literally go to LinkedIn. You can literally go to Twitter. You can literally go out there in the world and you can see hundreds of examples of people who say, yeah, CEH got me past the gatekeeper or OSCP got me past the gatekeeper, but I've never used that knowledge in a real pen test. I've never used that knowledge on the day-to-day job. And that's why certs don't guarantee that you have the knowledge to get the job done. Which is why I don't ask those questions. I don't ask like, hey, okay, you did CEH. I'm going to ask you some questions off CEH because they don't matter. Right? What I want to ask you if you come across something that you don't have the knowledge about, right? How are you going to find that answer? How are you going to solve that problem? What is your mentality when you're operating at 100% capacity? Listen, this is a question that people don't think about during interviews, right? If you're operating at 100% capacity and I put one more thing on your plate, how do you handle that challenge? What if I put 10 more things on your plate? How do you handle that challenge? Right? I want to know how you as a worker are in pushing back on me. Right? If I said, hey, look, I know you're operating at 100% capacity. Here's 10 more things. By the way, I need them done by the end of the day. I want to know how you're going to handle that. That, to me, is more important, and that's a skill that you don't teach entry-level folks. We don't teach entry-level folks that skill, and I think that is a problem. I think that that's a problem, and it leads to burnout, right? It leads to burnout, and it leads to people wanting to leave jobs months, if not years, when they first start, right? And so there's a lot more to that conversation around how to hire entry-level folks that I think people realize, like, and that's why I say, don't chase certs, chase knowledge, right? Let's see here. Yeah, some certs have useless knowledge. Absolutely. Some jobs, listen, it's not the jobs. The jobs don't make the certs important. The hiring managers make the certs important. The hiring managers make the certs important because that's how the hiring managers got their skills. Right? They don't realize that the world has changed since CEH, that the world has changed since SANS was the only name on the block. Listen, and I said this while I was at INE. I'll say this for 100 years in the past. When SANS teaches you how to use Metasploit, there's no secret sauce in that. When CEH teaches you how to use Nmap, there's no secret sauce in that. When INE teaches you how to use Metasploit, there's no secret sauce to that. This is why I tell you to do the free stuff first, right? There is no secret sauce to Metasploit. Yeah, 10 years ago, when SANS was the only one teaching Metasploit, or when OffSec was the only one teaching Metasploit, yeah, there was a reason to take those courses. Now you've got Metasploit on Udemy, you got Metasploit on YouTube, you got Metasploit at every freaking cert vendor out there teaches you Metasploit. So why? Why do you think CEH matters more than OSCP, or vice versa, or whatever the case is, whatever it is that you think? It only has to do with the gatekeeper. It has nothing to do with the knowledge. And so it's not that the jobs make certs important. Hiring managers. Talk to Jess. If Jess is still here, reach out to Jess in Discord. Read her story on how she literally crushed an interview. Up one side and down the other. They decided at the last hour, that she didn't have Sec Plus and disqualified her from a job. Now, we've all agreed that that is a toxic work environment. And it's probably for the better that she didn't get that job. But that has nothing to do with the job. That's the hiring manager's fault. That's the hiring manager's fault. And so that's why I say, be careful how you prioritize your perception of whether the job thinks the cert is important, the hiring manager seems the cert is important, whether you think the cert is important, or whether the knowledge is more important. This is why I harp on you guys to chase the knowledge. You will find the job that doesn't give a flip about whether you have a cert or not. They will be impressed by how you show up at that interview. I promise you that. We have numerous people in this community who are all examples of it. Numerous people in this community who are all examples of it. Just because this one came through as we're talking about this is a very good question, right? Are there any efforts in the market to educate the hiring managers about this perspective on certs? Yes. Naomi, super proud of Naomi for this, right? Naomi just released her first LinkedIn Learning course, and it talks about it's specifically targeted towards hiring managers, and it talks about trying to fix the hiring problem, right? I know that when I talk to recruiters, when I talk to like Joe Hudson's of the world, right, from HuntSource, when I talk to my friends at Red Sky, right, I try very, very hard to have this community of effort where I'm like, you all realize, Joe is fantastic about this, right? That's why Joe's been a huge advocate of the stream. He's been amazing from a recruiter standpoint. When I was at INE, he was like, Neil, I didn't realize that you guys had a what was it? Oh, he was like, I didn't realize you guys had a data science cert. And I was like, yeah. He was like, what else do you guys have? And so I showed him the portfolio that we had at INE. And then we had a conversation about it, and I was like, so let's take the red team stuff. When you get a job rec and it says, I want OSCP, do you, as a recruiter, have the ability to say, you know that there's 50 other certs out there that are just as good as OSCP that bring in just as quality of candidates. And he found out that most of the hiring managers he talked to didn't know these other certs existed. This is why I say it's a hiring manager problem. It's not an industry problem, it's a hiring manager problem. And here's the reason why. The hiring managers who are hiring, and let's take myself, right? Right? I've been in this industry for 20 plus years, right? I was fortunate enough that in my 10 years in the military, right? I got numerous certs, right? OSCP, tons of SAN certs, tons of Microsoft certs, tons of Linux certs. If I had never started streaming, if I'd never gotten involved with the community, if I had just like done what most other hiring managers are, which is I get out and I get a job and I continue to progress in my career, you know the only certs that I would have known? The only certs that I would have known would have been SAN certs and OSCP. I never would have known about INE, right? I never would have known about Pentester Academy. Never would have known about, TCM. Never would have known about any of these other places that are out there offering. So never would have known about Udemy. Never would have known about Cyber. Never would have known about Pluralsight. I only ever would have known about SANS and OffSec. And so when I write job descriptions, I only ever would have written a job description that said, I only want pen testers that have GXPN or OSCP. Do you see now where the problem lies? Because SANS and OffSec are winning the marketing game, they're winning the voice of the community game. That's what hiring managers know. I'm optimistic. Like if I think about the future, I'm optimistic because all of you that are hearing my voice, all of you that have listened to Heath, right? All of you that have been a part of like this community of those of us who are saying like, do you not see like all this other knowledge that's out there that makes people qualified and credentialed to be in this industry? When you all grow up to be big, huge, strong CISOs and big, huge, strong security managers and things like that, right? You all are going to have a different mentality on hiring than the people that you're dealing with right now. And I think that right there, that's the core of why I think Jerry, me, Naomi, right? All of us that you see out here trying to preach this message and get this out here, we're focused on, we're trying to change the current hiring trends, but we want you all to make sure, right, that when you grow up to be big, huge people in this industry, that you're not making the same mistakes, right? That's the passion we're trying to impart upon you all is like, hey, look, we know that there are people who are messing it up right now, right? We know there are people messing it up right now. Let's help you not make that same mistake. You're going to struggle now. It's going to be very, very hard to change the machine right now. We apologize for that. We wish we could have seen it coming. You've got folks in the community who are trying to make sure that that is not a problem for tomorrow. So, a little bit of a soapbox there for that one. But yes, there are efforts. Everybody is doing, there's a lot of people that are doing as much as possible. Right? Over on LinkedIn, question, which do you prefer, Cobalt Strike or Armitage? I think Cobalt Strike's come a lot farther than Armitage has. I remember Armitage back in the day. So I disagree with it. So Ben Y over on LinkedIn says, a lot of managers want the cert as a benchmark, like for OSCP. They are creators of Kali Linux. Having OSCP shows the technical competencies of a pen tester as opposed to, say, CEH. I disagree because you still make it sound like OSCP is the only cert that shows technical competencies, and that's the problem that I have, right? OSCP is not the only cert, and this will be the only time that you ever hear anything positive come out of my mouth about CEH, and it's gonna. I've already got indigestion as I attempt to say this, but even CEH is starting to come out with a practical. And so what you're saying is OSCP has a higher technical bar than CEH. That's a different thing. But then eJPT has a different technical bar. ECPPT has a different technical bar. ECPTX has a different technical bar. TCM has a different technical bar. There are different technical bars. It's not binary anymore. That's the problem that I have, right? It's not a binary choice anymore. All of them are great. That's why you have to start interviewing people based on the merits of their character, because if they have any cert, they have some level of technical bar that has been achieved, right? And this very much so too, right? You can learn how to work in Cali and never take the OSCP, 100%. 1,000%, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Back over on LinkedIn a little bit. I've seen TCM's PMPT showing up in job descriptions. eJPT shows up in job descriptions, right? Lots of things show up in job descriptions. That's good for the industry. That's good for the entire industry when we see more of those. Ben Y says, all right, so let's see what we got here. Ben Y says, Neil, because SANS and OffSec is the best, hands down. I've done both INE and OffSec study materials. I still learn more with OffSec through the barriers of entry for INE is lower. OSCP ain't too entry level. SANS and OffSec is not the best. I spent 5 years teaching for SANS. SANS is not the best. I've taken 2 OSCPs, right? I've taken pen testing with Backtrack, for those who remember that, and pen testing with Cali, right? So I've done them both. They're not the best. They're not realistic. You can't be the best and teach a CTF-based cert, right? They might have been the best 10 years ago. I'll give them that. 10 years ago, if you'd asked 10 years ago Neil, they were the best because they were the only thing on the market. They're not the best today, hands down. I will go to the grave, right, defending that statement as somebody who has taught, right, and again, just a credential check. I, along with 225 other cyber experts in the Air Force, built the first cyber workforce training to train offensive hacking, threat hunting, and pen testing for the United States Air Force. Taught for SANS for 5 years. Built the cyber strategy as well as the cloud strategy and everything else at INE. SANS and OffSec used to be the best. They're not the best anymore. They're not the best. They are good. Listen, do you know that one of the things that they teach you when you go to be an instructor at SANS is you're not there to teach the material. You are only there because people only want to come to hear from you. Do you know that it is technically impossible to go through 6 days worth of material if you truly just taught the book? Most of you wouldn't know, not for any other reason other than you're just so excited to be at a SANS class, but there are volumes of stuff that is skipped when instructors teach SANS courses because you can't get through all of it, right? What ends up happening, you go there to listen to instructors tell their stories. The same reason you come here and listen to me tell stories. The same reason that the same reason that I tell stories, because stories are awesome. When you are encouraged as a SANS instructor to tell stories, and that's what people want to hear, right? We're going to teach a lesson on DNS cache poisoning. Here's DNS cache poisoning. Let me tell you the story about how I did this really cool pen test with DNS cache poisoning. That's what you're there at a SANS course to hear. That does not make SANS the best. And at the price, right, that continues to devalue SANS, in my opinion, right? I see a lot of who is the best. Neil, tell us your top 3. Who would you recommend above SANS? Who is the best then? I believe in value. The only person who can measure value, this is going to blow everybody's mind. Everybody sit down, get ready for this, because you're not going to believe this answer. The only person who can determine the value of education, training, or certification is you. You're the only one. Not me, not anybody in this chat, not some random dude on the internet, definitely not some other influencer. The only person that can determine value is you. This is why I tell you to chase knowledge, not certifications, right? Because once you find an instructor you like, once you find content you like, once you find a way that it's taught to you that you like, guess what? That's the best to you. That's the best for you. That's the one that's going to help you learn. The best is the one that is going to take knowledge from this head, put it into your head so that you can then put it onto your fingers onto the keyboard. That's the best. We had a saying in the military when we built this out, right? Learning has occurred. Learning has occurred. That's how you know that you're a successful instructor. That's how you know you're successful at the content creation, right? Is when learning has occurred. So hey, look, if you could afford $8,000 and you like going to listen to an instructor BS and you get something out of it and it helps you be productive on the job, who's got 2 thumbs up and thinks that's a good choice? But I do not think that's the best. I do not think that's the best. Right? So I'm just saying. It's, stop idolizing. Stop idolizing brands. Stop idolizing, oh, this cert makes me elite hacker. Do you know there's no such thing as elite hacker? Do you know that is like the biggest, oh God. I see those of you who I've talked to that, we've talked about doing a cyber insecurity unchained. This is one of those moments where I want to get unchained right now. I'm streaming on LinkedIn and this is going to be posted on LinkedIn. I can't do the unchained thing, right? This idea of being an elite hacker and you realize, oh my God, the amount of DMs that I got that say, Neil, how do I be the best hacker in the world? By the way, which cert do I take? Right? There is no such thing. There is no such thing as the best hacker in the world. Period. Dot. It's not me. It's not Kevin Mitnick. It's nobody. Right? It's not, it's nobody. Right? There are no elite hacking forces. There are no ninjas from helicopters. There are no, it's not black magic, people. It's not black magic. That's the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie that we have told this entire industry, is that you can be the best. There is no best, right? Everybody is learning every day something new. The world changes around us every day, and something new happens every single day, right? And that in and of itself means that you're never going to be the best. If you want to listen, there's another good quote. You know me, I love my quotes, right? It's the new Rocky with Sylvester Stallone, right? He's got a quote in there. He's talking about it. Talent you have naturally. Everybody, if you're hearing my voice right now, talent you have naturally. Everybody here has talent. I think everybody who hears my voice now and in perpetuity in the future, I believe that out of every single one of you. Talent, you all have naturally. Skill is only developed through hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. That's it. That's the definition of how you get good in this industry. That's it. There's no cert that can teach you that. There's no me. There's no influencer. There's no amount of listening to somebody else give you advice that will make you better than that statement right there. Talent, every single one of you has naturally. Skill is only developed through hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. Neil, is it a must to go to college or university before I become a cybersecurity? No. No, not. So Ben Y was right then. He thinks SANS and OffSec. You know what? I'm fair with that. I'll take that criticism. Sure. He thinks SANS and OffSec. That's on him. I disagree substantially. Jonathan Hadley, fantastic point. It's hard not to idolize, though, based on the job market and all the issues you've discussed already. We want the job, so we need to chase it to possibly land that job. The job is actually really boring. What we idolize, listen, what we idolize is the thought of being a hacker. What we idolize is the movie portraying of being a hacker. What we idolize, right, is the idea of what we think cybersecurity is. But talk to pen testers. Do they have a lot of fun? Absolutely. Did I have a lot of fun being a pen tester? Absolutely. Did I have a lot of fun hacking for the United States government? Other nations? Absolutely 100%. Did I do that every minute of every day? No. Did I do a pen test every minute of every day? No. You know what I did? I wrote reports. I asked for money. I built business cases. Taught people about risk for vulnerabilities. Right? Did I sit in some dungeon and hack 24/7 using whatever means I wanted to? Right? Writing crazy amounts of code till I got to the Gibson and then digitized my way as I'm going down the highways in the Gibson. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. What we idolize are movies. What we've idolized is the fame and the clickbait behind hacking. That's what we've idolized. Let's be real. Like, if we're going to talk about what we've idolized, you know what you've idolized? Hold on. I'm going to hurt some of y'all's feelings right now. You know what some of you've idolized? The money. You hear how much money is in cybersecurity, and that's what you idolize. You're like, I want a piece of that pie. Let's be real. One of the things I'm a huge fan of is let's spit facts. You're not idolizing cybersecurity because you've got some in-depth passion, right, to sit in a dark room and protect an organization. Because if you did, you'd be in GRC, you'd be in a blue team spot, you wouldn't be looking at hacking. No, what you have done is you've idolized the movies and you've idolized a fat paycheck. And you're right. I'm not saying Ben's spot on. Nothing wrong with wanting a good paycheck. Not disputing that. But let's be real. Let's be real with what we're idolizing. Right? And that's my point. You're not being real with yourself when you're saying, well, Neil, we idolize this industry. I want to protect orgs. Go sit on a console and look at some alerts. You want to protect an organization? Pull up, as Jack Nicklaus would say in A Few Good Men, grab a gun and sit on a wall. Grab a gun and sit on a wall. Right? Otherwise, you're idolizing the movie, you're idolizing a paycheck, and you're not being honest with yourself. Let's see if I can head back over here. Sorry, switching between two consoles. Yeah, here we go. Our company, American Greetings, is looking for a senior network security engineer. Certs not required, only experience. And you can make experience, you can make non-experience look like experience. I love my movie quotes, dude. I really do love my movie quotes. I really do. 100%, Jack said it. Blue team gets paid more every day of the week. Every day of the week. More in demand, too. Callie, are you secretly a vampire? No, I'm not secretly a vampire. I would definitely take that job, though. I would take that job. And listen, and again, like, I don't want to come across as being like you shouldn't idolize money, right? Lord knows I've chased my money over my career. You know, I'm damn happy to be where I'm at. You know, I'm grateful for it every day of the week. But my point is, be upfront about it. Like these people who tell you, oh, you shouldn't be in cybersecurity for the money. Dude, the people who say you shouldn't be in cybersecurity for the money are the people who are in cybersecurity for the money. Neil, you let our secrets out. The people who tell you that you shouldn't be in cybersecurity for the money are the people who are in cybersecurity for the money. The money is good. Be honest with yourself about it. Be honest. That's all I'm asking. They can't handle the truth. You can't handle. I just watched it the other day, and it's still one of the greatest movies of all time. Do you have a recommendation for the best place for people to get started in GRC? Seeing a ton of open GRC jobs out there right now. I mean, just apply, go get the learning, learn about NIST 853, learn about risk assessments, learn about all that stuff. I just saw this one. This is interesting. Would you do a 90 days unpaid cybersecurity internship if I was starting over from scratch? If I got out of the military tomorrow, and I could absolutely unequivocally afford to, I would absolutely do a 90-day unpaid cybersecurity internship. But I wouldn't pick just anybody. What would I pick? I'd probably pick Microsoft or Google if I was going to do that. If I was going to do 90 days of an unpaid cybersecurity internship, where would I pick? I'd pick Microsoft, Google. I might pick, I want to interview Elon and the team at SpaceX or Tesla and see what it is that they deal with. I might be interested in that security team. But if I was going to do it, that might be what I do. What foundational knowledge would you recommend before studying for the eJPT? I don't think you really need any. We've had people everywhere from, healthcare workers to marketing folks to customer support engineers who have taken eJPT. I think everything you need to pass eJPT is in the pen testing student class. CEH, eJPT, or Pentest Plus? eJPT, all day long, baby. All day long. Callie's got a good question here, which is rare for him. With the old school techniques for looking at blockchain tech, how do we not get ourselves in trouble with scopes and not overstepping boundaries, especially when it's financial? So I'd start by looking, since responsible disclosure is becoming more popular, I would start by looking at some of the exchanges. Like I know Crypto.com, I think, has come out and said that they're doing a bug bounty program. I think Coinbase has got a bug bounty program. I would look at the projects themselves and see which of the projects are doing bug bounty programs. So, that's how I would start, honestly. Just because I saw this. Did this officially get released, or is Dev talking out of his butt? don't know if that officially got released or not. I don't want to comment on if it's not officially out yet or not. I'll leave that one be for now. Looking at LinkedIn. Is working in police or defense worth it? It can be if you like the mission. It can be if you like the mission. Foundations Pass is official? Okay, so that's official. Yeah, so we talk about believing in companies that you work for and believing in missions and statements and promises made, promises kept, and things like that. We talk about reasons why, and I have to be very, very careful, right? Because I still have a lot of friends, members of this community who work at INE. So I don't want to make life hard for them. But this was one of the disagreements that was unresolved. I couldn't get behind this. I lost this fight and I couldn't get behind it. Yeah, so there's that. I'll leave that one be. Jonathan Healy over on LinkedIn says, it seemed early you harped on OSCP type search because they're CTF style and unrealistic. How do we gain that realistic experience? I'm doing just the try hack me and we'll get in hack the box, but aren't those? Yeah, so the CTF styles are really hard, right? They're easy to build. They're easy to build, and that's why people build them, is because they are easy to build. I think you have to look for the environments that mimic those, right? So some of the try hack me ones do mimic real environments. Not all of them, but some of the rooms do mimic real environments. You have to take those with a grain of salt. I like doing some capture the flags because some capture the flags do emulate real environments, especially like the red team CTF that DEF CON does every year. That one is a little bit more realistic. It is hard to find some of those. I know Red Team Labs. Red Team Labs is actually built on an Active Directory environment as well. So you just have to. I'll try to put together a resource list and see if I can't put them up on Twitter or LinkedIn. For those who are interested in that. Any search for intelligence? No good ones. No good ones. I'm reading off LinkedIn. That's why I'm not posting the questions up, because I don't have a LinkedIn integration. Any programming language a security professional would require to be good at? Python, Mohammed. Python. And you can also go to the YouTube channel and you can get 13 weeks of free Python training taught by a university professor who built a Python course specifically for you all to be awesome. Yeah, and Jonathan's got a good point, Mohammed, to follow on with that one. Python, Bash, and PowerShell. That's my top 3 in that order. Yeah. What time is it? Okay, we got some time. Got some time. Let me just check the Slack messages really quick. Make sure I'm not missing out on anything. All right. Messages look good. Let's see here. We can push for a little bit longer. We got lots of engagement, lots of people hanging out with us. We'll push for a little bit longer. I tell you, like, that's always my thing, right? As long as we got hype, as long as we got awesomeness, we'll push as long as we possibly can. Let's see here. Oh, I got that one from Callie. This one from Nassim is really awesome, right? Neil, besides red and blue team certs and knowledge, cloud certs are really... Listen, like I think if you're not in cloud, in something in cloud, you're behind, right? You were behind if you weren't paying attention to cloud before. Now you're really behind if you're not paying attention to cloud. Now, this is why, even the ICCA over on INE, the course that Tracy and Brooks put together, I think you should go take that, right? Because that is to me, that's better than the AWS, the ACP that AWS has, because it's multi-cloud, talks about cloud technologies in general, helps get your feet in the door to being a cloud. You need to be in cloud, right? So like, take what I'm doing now, right? Everything is cloud-based, right? We are building a SaaS application, right? And so I have to do 100% of my security in the cloud. If you're working for somebody that does SaaS stuff, you have to be in the cloud. It needs to be there, right? So yes, you should be, I double down on this, like 1 bazillion%. Adrian Cantrell's, absolutely, cable security. We've given away a lot of Adrian Cantrell's, all the things. Absolutely, 10 of 10 recommends you get into cloud. Please get into cloud. Please, dear God, find some room in your studies for cloud. Working on it. God, so much I want to tell you guys. If anybody remembers when Chris and I first put cybersecurity.tv up, we had a link up at the top for courses. There was a reason for that. There was a plan, there was a strategy for that. For those who don't know, we have cybersecurity.tv. Chris, Frazier, and I, we were starting to build that site and started to work it out. There used to be a link at the top for courses. There was an idea that there were going to be some courses that I was going to produce. It caused a little bit of drama, as you can imagine, even though it was non-competitive whatsoever. And so we had to take it down. But that thought, that idea is not lost. It's not lost. So that's as much as I can share right now. Thoughts on using Udemy as a resource for learning? It's okay. My problem with Udemy, right? Here's my biggest problem with Udemy. It's always hard to gauge quality, right? It is the dollar store of learning, right? Rightfully so, right? They make a living on those flash discount sales for for all their courses. And so because of that, you might get a good course, you might get a dumpster course. If you're okay paying $2.99 and potentially getting a dumpster course, go for Udemy, right? That's my only problem. This is why I talk about doing the free stuff first before you ever pay $1. Do the free stuff first, because like even free is better than Udemy. And then you go find somebody like David, who back to, you like him as an instructor, you like his teaching style, he's got good knowledge, you've seen his credentials, you've checked him out, he's got, and that's my big thing, right, is like, listen, even me, right, if you're listening to me and you're like, who the freak is this guy, why should I listen to him? Go check out my credentials, right? Go look at the articles I've written. Talk to people in the community. Talk to people outside the community. Talk to my haters, right? Research who you take your advice from, and then decide if the instructor's good, if the course is good, if the person you're talking to is good, right? Like, don't just take everybody else's word for it. Do your own research, right? I absolutely want you to go talk to my haters. I want you to go talk to everybody who's ever said a bad thing about me, and I want you to understand why they think I'm bad. And then you derive your own opinions from it. And now I want you to go talk to everybody who thinks I'm good. Derive your own opinions out of it, right? I encourage you to do that before you take a single thing I say for what it is. But I've also got 25 years of experience to back up what it is that I say. So it's worked for me. It's worked for 5,000, 20,000 plus other people. Do your own research. Jess, I've done the research. You check out. Thank you, Jess. I'm glad to get your approval. Is there any mentorship programs? They're hard to find, case-by-case basis with certain companies. Like, you've got to... I wish there was a better place to centralize and aggregate that, but there isn't. Kay Wilkinson, it's ICCA. It's the INE certified. Oh, God. Somebody drop in LinkedIn a link for the ICCA, please, for Kay Wilkinson. He's a good guy for Chair Force. Thank you. I appreciate that. You must be a Marine. This is a good one. Which site is good for blue team learning? I think Blue Team Labs Online, Security Blue Team. Awesome. Another good question here. Do cyber threat intelligence analysts and threat hunters normally start out in a SOC position? What other good starting points are there for these positions as a goal? They absolutely start out as SOC analysts. I think everybody should start out as a SOC analyst. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. INE Certified Cloud Associate. That's what I thought it was, Lola, but I couldn't remember. It's been, see how long you get disassociated, you forget about it. This is a good one. Is vulnerability management a good lead into application security? Yes, please, 100%. Yes, vulnerability management is a great, great place to start out, right? Absolutely. Like, there's nothing else really to say about that other than hell yes. Ahoy! Are we pirates? Yar. Pirate. It's the pirate's life for me. Ahoy, I'm new here. Welcome. We're glad to have you. All new pirates are welcome. Don't hurt the narwhals. They're an endangered species. Do you recommend learning Python or try Hackme first? Do them both in parallel. Again, you got free Python on the Cyber and Security channel. You got free Python on YouTube. You got Try Hackme, which has free rooms. Do them both in parallel. I don't see anything wrong with parallel learning. If you have a hard time with parallel learning, and you had to pick one, I'd pick Try Hackme. I am a fan. Listen, I'm a fan of a process called ask for forgiveness, not permission. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. The idea behind ask for forgiveness, not permission, is that you do something and it's either going to go well or it's going to fail miserably. Right? It's either going to go well or it's going to fail miserably. If it goes well, guess what? You did awesome. If it fails miserably, then you can ask for forgiveness after it failed miserably, but at least you tried. I absolutely apply that to my learning, right? I will go in, like NFTs is a great example of this. I knew nothing about NFTs. What did I do? I went to OpenSea and tried to create an NFT. And then I pulled on that thread and started to unpack it in my learning effort, right? And that was how I learned about NFTs. That's how I started my blockchain journey as well, years and years and years ago, right? Was I just jumped in to see if I could screw it up, right? And then I learned from there. So I say all that to say, do I do Try Hackme first or Python? Try Hackme is practicing the hacking opportunity with a hands-on keyboard, right? So in that concept, right, I would go do Try Hackme until I failed at something. And if it happened to be Python, then I'd go learn Python. If it happened to be buffer overflows, then I would go learn buffer overflows from Josh Mason, right? Whatever the case was. And so, like, I'm a fan of go do the thing, right? And then when you hit that first speed bump in your learning endeavor, that's when I pull on a thread and I start to go down the path. So that's how I do it. That's my thought process. Does the NSA still use stingrays? I'm curious. Not in the way that you're thinking about stingrays. Neil, please kindly give some sites to learn cloud that is practical. INE. there's massive investment going on in I&E on the cloud side. Wholeheartedly stand behind Mike Pfeiffer, Brooks, Melissa, the team that they're building over there at I&E for cloud. Wholeheartedly stand by that. Those guys are awesome. Don't bring up rubber duckies in a blue team interview. Let's see here. Here we go. Hello, Neil. I'm 21 years old, and some of my friends are thinking about starting a purple cybersec team, and most of the management is on my shoulders. What are your options to a young leader? Congratulations on taking on leadership at such a young age. Trust your people. Trust your people. So many leaders think that they're smarter than their people. Trust your leaders. That's my biggest thing for management, or trust your people. That's my biggest thing for any leader out there, right? Is you have to trust your people. You have to trust your people. Other than that, like listen. You know, your team is listen. The part about leadership that I think is hard to get through some people's head, right? Leadership is about providing top cover. It's about setting vision, setting strategy, and letting your people do what it is that they do best. The only way that I can think about doing this, the only way I think about talking about this, right, is to talk about my leadership style, right? If you look at the team that I built at I&E, right? Mike, Brooks, Melissa, Jack, Brian, right? The entire team that's there at I&E. Never once did I tell Mike how to build a particular cloud course. Never once did I tell him that I wanted a cloud course to look to tactically be this versus that. You know, I tried my best, even with Jack, when we talk about like, how do we do the course design for, career paths and things like that. It was collaborative in the sense of like, here's my vision of what I thought career paths needed to look like. Jack put his spin on it and put his expertise on it. Josh and Brian brought their flavor to it. And we all brought all of that together to make the vision awesome, right? And I think that's when you look at leadership, that's the role of leaders, right? Is to bring people together to make a cake, right? Your role as a leader isn't to make the cake itself. Your role as a leader is to go buy the ingredients. It's to say, hey, look, I've got this recipe that my mom gave me when I was 2 years old, that this cake was really awesome. Do you know of a better way to make a cake, right? And then when the boss comes down and says, don't do this or do that, or here's how much money you really have to make, or here are the limitations that you have, it's the leader's job to fight up, to fend that stuff off so that your team can make the cake in the vision that you have as a leader, right? Everybody's talking about the cake now, yeah. And so I think that's what makes a good leader, right? Is your role there is to lead, not to do, right? It's to lead. It's to provide top cover, and it's to make sure that your team has everything that they need to be successful. Cyber and Security, where you can ask any questions at all. That's why this is an AMA stream. What's the meaning of the tattoo under part of your forearm? I'm talking about this one right here. It's the King of Spades. I'll post up a link to what it means up on Twitter. It's pretty in-depth. But absolutely, it does mean something. I don't have a single tattoo on my body. that means nothing. Need a hype cake emoji now. Absolutely. Hype cake emoji. We're at 10:30. How much further do I go? Let's see here. Let's do this is a good one from Duke Norris. How do you keep your social media clean for job prospects? What do you post or repost? I don't keep my social media clean. You know, I've gone back and forth with this, right? There are definitively some things that I have thought about posting on social media that I then come back to and I say, would I be ashamed to say them in public? Would I be ashamed to say them in my workforce? Would I be ashamed to say them to my boss? Would I be ashamed to say them to my team? If I was to post this up on social media and somebody were to ask me a question about it, would I be embarrassed? Would I be offended? Would I feel slighted? Right? I have the same conversation that I just explained right there is exactly the same conversation that I'm sure most of you have when you talk to people at work already. Or at least it should be, right? You wouldn't go off saying racial slurs or misogynistic slurs to the office. At least I hope not. At least I hope most of you are mature enough not to do that, right? You wouldn't go call a CISO, a skitty or a noob to his face, right? You wouldn't make fun of you wouldn't body shame somebody in public. And so if social media is your escape from civility and you choose to be uncivilized on your social media, then you should be prepared for the consequences of your employer seeing how uncivilized or unsociable you might be in the workforce. Right? That's the way it is. Will I look at your social media when I hire you? Damn right I will. Now, if you've got a sock puppet account where you spit racial slurs all the time, and I never find it through my OSINTing you, nobody ever brings it to my attention. If a bear poops in the woods, does it exist? Who knows, right? I hope I never come across somebody like that. I hope I never am unfortunate enough to come across somebody like that. But I think that your social media is a brand tool. And so as such, you should treat it as an extension of your brand. Right? And so if you want your brand to represent unclean ideas, then post them up on social media. Be prepared for the consequences. Right? I think you should be prepared for that. If you're not treating your brand, if you're not treating your social media as an extension of your brand, I do think you're doing it wrong. Absolutely. Right? Social media is an extension of your brand. And so as such, your definition of clean should be whatever the definition of clean is that you want associated with your brand. And as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that until somebody asks a follow-up question. Didn't know this was still going on, or I would have logged in half an hour ago. Oh yeah, I've been BSing all morning, checking my work messages just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I do have some work I have to do today, eventually. It is necessary. Like Callie hits the nail on the head, right? Here's my necessary evil speech on social media, right? I very much believe in branding yourself as a way to help you get a job in cybersecurity. The amount of people that know you, oh God, I had a meme that I was going to put up. I had found a meme. I'd found a meme and I thought about you all as a community. It was a networking meme, obviously. I'll have to find it. I'll put it up on Twitter later if I can find it again. Oh, there it is. Tell you what, I'll put this up on Twitter right now. I'll put this meme up on Twitter right now. Right. So there's a meme going up on Twitter right now. Head on over to my Twitter account. I'll put no caption needed on this meme. Actually, I'll do truth. So meme going up on Twitter right now. Right? So the meme is, networking is so underrated, you could literally get rich by having the right conversation with the right person. Right? That's the meme I just posted up on Twitter just now. You can literally get rich by having the right conversation with the right person. So how do you network? How do you network? Well, let's start with LinkedIn. Well, what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a social media platform. What is Twitter? How do you LinkedIn with people? How do you build networking connections on Twitter? You connect and you comment on posts. You network. Right? Networking is so important. And so you have to engage in social media to network at some level, shape, or fashion. And so, therefore, your brand on social media is necessary so that you can build quality networking connections. Right? And so, yes, it is necessary if you want to build a strong network that will eventually get you a job in this industry. Okay? So all the purists out there who are like, screw Zuckerberg, screw the facey spaces, the Twitters, twites, whatevers. I'll never, ever, ever have a social media presence ever, 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 ever. I put out a fact when I did the LinkedIn hacking video, the 1,000 Connect Challenge video on YouTube. 80% of recruiters found their candidates on LinkedIn. So by you saying that you are not going to invest in social media, by also not investing in your brand, you are literally saying you're going to ignore 80% of the recruiters that are out there. And you wonder why you can't get a job. There's another fact that's out there. And this one's going to hurt too. 3%. 3%. That's how many people get hired simply for applying for a job. 3%. 3%. If you are not networking, you are missing out. If you are not controlling your brand, you are missing out. And so therefore, back to your original question about social media, what you deem clean needs to be associated with your brand. So there you go. Take that for what you will. Brian, what are you doing now that root has gone away? I'm dying inside. That's what I'm doing now. I don't have any new recommendations. I'm on the hunt. Is it better to have people just following on LinkedIn? I turned on the setting that has people only follow instead of clicking on connect. What I think is important is your brand and your engagement. You want to be able to talk to people, right? And so it's really about your connection to other people. I did this with one of my mentees, right? Where I found out I wasn't surprisingly connected to the CTO at Carbon Black. And so on Zoom, I showed him how to find a connection that I'd never been connected with that I wanted to connect to because I knew it would benefit my career. And I created a message and I connected with that individual, and then I started to send messages. Your connection to somebody is different than them following you. I love all my followers and I love all my connections, absolutely. But I go out and I connect with people that I choose to connect with proactively that I see as being beneficial to my career. When I was on this last job search, right, I went and connected with CISOs and CEOs of companies that I wanted to work for and establish that connection. And so I don't think it's about who's following you versus who's connecting with you. What are you continuously doing now from a proactive perspective to continue to build your connection base up that's going to help you progress in your career moving forward? All right. That's awesome. We're over 2 hours. That was an awesome stream. It is so good to be streaming as always. I love every single one of you. Tonight is Tuesday. Oh, Brent's not streaming tonight. No stream tonight. So it looks like he got my ugly mug for a stream today. Make sure you hit that exclamation point Discord. Get into our Discord as well. Make sure you're not sleeping on member chat. That is a great place to hang out as well. I missed you too, Jess. It's good to see you. Remember, tomorrow is Wednesday. You got Brandon. Tomorrow, I saw some people asking, like, Neil, are you coming back to a weekly basis? TBD. We are continuing to evaluate what Neil's streaming future looks like. Old Guy Wednesday will be making a return. We haven't decided what that's going to look like yet. Tea with a Hacker, yes. But tomorrow you can catch Brandon on Daily Cyber. Thursday you can catch Java with Josh in the morning. Friday you've obviously got me with Tea with a Hacker as well as Jack with Tipsy Cyber. And then BSEC, obviously, I think BSEC's streaming some DJ stuff. If you're looking for some kick-ass music, check out DJ BSEC, man. It's awesome. Check out those exclamation point socials. Get access to social media. Like, follow, subscribe. Share the community. Listen, you'll notice that there's some changes. Really quick, before I cut everybody off, you'll notice there's some changes on the Discord as we move things away from point things to like community admins, community members. We're finding that we're building a pretty significant community, not just the cyber community, a community as a whole, a community for everybody. If you know somebody who's struggling, if you know somebody who's looking to get into this industry, if you know somebody who's already in this industry who wants to share their knowledge and they're looking for an outlet, if you are looking for a place with like-minded individuals to be with you on this journey, you got a place. You got a place here with us. We got a community. We got a Discord. We got thousands and thousands of people just like you who have been in exactly the same position you're in right now, who have moved past it, and who are doing awesome things in their career, who want to share all of their successes and all their failures with you as well. Remember, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you need help with mental awareness, we do have the You Are Not Alone channel inside the Discord, as well as the Imposter Syndrome channel. I appreciate every single one of you. Remember, whether you're on the red side or the blue side, keep learning, and I'll see y'all next time.